Fast track to Premiere Pro. Really guys, if you want to be on the fast track for learning Premiere Pro and video editing, at the end of every lecture, please open Premiere Pro and play as much as you can with the subject of the lecture you have taken. For example, the previous lecture we went for this graphic, rectangles, squares, circles and lines. It will be a lot of fun for you to open Premiere, add some rectangles, play around with them, design something. It doesn't have to be serious, just to get familiar. And later on, within the special section for graphics, you are already familiar, you can understand better and execute much more. So this is the fast track that you are doing now, and I would like you to play as much as possible after you finish this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to tackle the transitions, and they are very nice and very easy to work with. I must admit to you that within the graphics here, I divided extreme biking from the video by Jean-Loup. I needed two graphics to show you how transition can work now for you. Also, I forgot to mention that you can rename a graphic clip. You can just right click on it and go to rename. Here it is. And then instead of graphic, you can say background for lower third. For example, if you like this, you click and now you know what is it all about. It's not just graphic. You can also rename any clip, by the way. You can come over here and say rename and change the name of this clip if you would like to. I'll never do that because it will confuse me which clip is which within the project panel. A transition, guys, is always applied at the cut in between two clips. In our case here, we don't have any transition. It's just a cut. Please don't underestimate the cuts. They are very powerful and very beautiful sometimes. But let's say you want to create a smooth transition between the clip 07 and the clip 05, I guess. Okay, so you want 07 to dissolve out, meaning disappear through dissolve, while the 05 is dissolving in. Okay, so it's appearing. This is the default transition for Premiere Pro. To apply the default transition is very easy. Just come in between the two cuts here and right click and you will have apply transitions. You notice that I clicked just at the cut and I have the trim tool. So if you apply the default transition, now you have the cross dissolve transition applied. It's very nice. Let's open a bit from here and see it. I press plus to zoom in. You notice that cross dissolve transition has been applied to the video and to the audio. But for the audio, it has applied constant power. Let's scrub through very slowly and see exactly what's happening. You notice that the transition cross dissolve is dissolving out the first clip 07 and dissolving in the next clip that is 05, and here you are. In between, you have a 50% dissolve on the left and on the right. And then clip 05 will appear. Here you are. It's very beautiful. Let's run it and see exactly how it is. Cool. So this is the cross dissolve transition. I will zoom to fit now. Let's apply the default transition at the beginning. This is very common. Just come at the beginning over here, right click, and you say apply default transition. So now your video is starting this way, and it's pretty nice. Cool. So we applied already two transitions. Fine. Now you can adjust your transition here. If you click on it, it will open in the effect controls. If you want to learn how to use the effect controls for the transition, there is a special section about transitions that you can go there and really learn everything that you want to know about transitions and how easy it could be. Now, you can click on it, as we said, and you can, for example, come to the right side. You notice how the mouse pointer has changed. You can click and drag it to make it shorter. Here you are. But I'm shortening only the one for the video. You can do the same for the audio if you like. Cool. Let's play it and notice how it became much faster now. Cool. You can also click on it, click on one side and make it longer, even until, you grab the whole clip, the one on the left. Here you are. Doesn't make much sense, but it can be very useful. Okay, I will undo this one. You can also click on your transition here and just press delete to delete it. And then also on the video. Now, you can also select two clips, just like this. You click and select both of them. And instead of right-clicking, you can press Shift-D to apply the default transition to the video and the audio at the same time. Cool, guys? So it is Shift-D on Mac and PC. I will undo this one. But let's say you want to apply the transition Only on the videos. You don't want to apply any transition on the audio track. All you have to do is to press Ctrl D. Here you are. It has applied the transition only on the video tracks. Pretty helpful. So Shift D, Ctrl D. I will delete this one, and then I will select the two clips again, and let's say you want to apply the transition only on the audio. So you press Ctrl Shift D on Windows. On Mac it will be Command Shift D. Here you are. It applied only on the audio. So it's very, very easy, and depends on your choice also what you want to do. I will delete this transition. Let's go over here and apply the transition between the video clip and the graphic. Notice I'm gonna bring the mouse over the cut over here, but I make sure the arrow is pointing to the left. In a second I will explain to you why. I will just right click and say apply default transition. Now you have the default transition applied to the video and the graphic, and of course the audio. Fine, let's put these ones off to see the transition here. And if you scrub through, you notice now it's becoming much nicer. Let's play it. Pretty cool, right guys? So it's that easy to apply the default transition. But now use transitions with care. Don't put them everywhere. Your video will become a bit, beginner. Now we talked about the default transition and we know how to size it, but where did it come from? How come it is the default transition? To set the default transition, you go to your effects panel. If you can't see it here, of course you can go to Window and say Effects, and it will pop up here. Also, it's nice to get used to the Shift 7. In the effects panel here, you can see you have audio transitions and video transitions. Let's scroll down video transitions, and you notice we have here a dissolve. So obviously let's look at dissolve, and you notice that cross dissolve has a blue square around it. It means this is set to be the default. You could change that. For example, if you click on dip to black, then right click, you can say set selected as default transition. Now it's the default transition. If you come over here and try it out, you right click and you say apply default transition. Here you are, you have dip to black, and actually this is very much used. You've seen it in very many movies. Look, it goes to black, and you notice at the cut, immediately at the cut, both of them are black. Is dipping to black and then coming out. Cool. So this is how you set the default transition. Just right click, say set selected to default transitions. Now there are transitions here that are not really transition. For example, the morph cut. This is a very specialized transition that I will show you later on how to use it. Let's delete this one. What you can do is to take any transition from here, for example, additive dissolve. It's not very nice. It has its own use. You can click on it, drag it, and just drop it in between. You can also drop it on the right if you like, only on one clip, or on the left. Here you are, for example. You notice it's using the add blending here to create a transition in between the two clips. You can click again on your transition and you can move it anywhere you want, as simple as this. Pretty nice, huh guys? Okay, let's delete this one and let's do some real work. Now, we come over here, we have the cross dissolve, which is very nice. Let's open graphics one. Okay, so we have our rectangle, if you remember here. We can apply a transition to the rectangle without having to do animation. Within the video transitions, if you notice, you have a slide here. Okay, we have wipe also. If you take slide and click on it and drag it and drop it on the graphics, here you are, and you notice you can adjust its timing. So now, how is it sliding? If you scrub through, you will notice it's coming from the left to the right. Very nice. If you press spacebar to play it, pretty cool. It's very slow, right guys? Let's make it shorter. Here you are. And then you play it. You created actually an animation with the transition. Cool. So why it's coming from the right to the left? Look at your FX control here. I'm not going to go in detail, but I just show you. You notice you have these arrows all over here. If you look here, it's coming from west to east. So this is west, this is east. If I click on the other one, for example here, it will go from east to west. Let's click on it and notice how it has changed. Now it's blue and green. It was green and blue. Now let's play it again. And you know, it's gonna come from the other side. Pretty cool, right guys? Fine. We can undo this because I wanted to come from the left. Here you are. Let's add another slide for extreme biking. Cool. How can we bring extreme biking? We can bring it from the left. We can bring it from the right. We can bring it from top, bottom, whatever you like. I will click on the slide, drag it, and drop it on extreme biking. Here you are. Make it shorter. Let's put it on, of course, and let's drag it. Here you are. Notice what's happening. Pretty cool. Let's play it. Wow, you're creating animations. That's very fantastic. Let's take video Jean-Luc, but we don't want it to slide from the left. Let's slide it from the right. I will take the slide again and just drop it on Jean-Luc here and click on the transition, of course, and then say come from this side. Okay? Of course, let's make it visible and let's play. Here you are, Jean-Luc is coming. Now you can trim this a bit, okay? And notice you have created a simple animation using Jean-Luc. Well, Jean-Luc is very slow. Let's make it faster. Play again. Here you are. Pretty cool, right, guys? So you notice putting these transitions all around is very interesting, and I would like you to come over to transitions and try many of them. Now, some of them are really specialized transitions. If you get confused, just forget them. Then later on, you will see in the section how to create fantastic transitions and how to adjust them the way you would like. Now, it's very important that you come over here to the transitions and play around. And notice very easily I created an animation here, so it's up to you to create even better. Try the other ones. Try the wipe. It's very interesting. You can try the zoom if you like. Forget about page peel. You don't want to take something that is almost obsolete. Now let's go and see the audio transition over here. Unfortunately, in audio transition, you have very few of them, only 3 by default. You can create your own. We'll see that later. And constant power is the default. You can change that to exponential fade, for example, if you like to, or you keep it on constant power. Here you are. So thank you very much for listening for this transition lecture. I know it has been long, but it's very important that you play around with your transitions and make sure you have them very nice and well organized. For now, I'm going to take the audio here and just make it as long as the clip itself. And then I will press Shift D to apply the constant power transition for the audio at the beginning and at the end. Notice because this clip is standing alone and there is no clip next to it, when you press Shift D, it will apply it in the beginning and at the end. And you have now a very nice video that you can play. And actually, you already edited a very nice complete video with the required transitions. Very nice, very beautiful. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you in the next lecture. And please play around with transitions.